Hello, Endeavor Explorers. It's me, Miss Danielson. Here I am, coming to do some more art with you. Okay, this is a fun week. As far as materials, you can work on a piece of paper. So you could work with paper pencil. I'm going to work on my whiteboard this week because I'm going to show you multiple ideas. And then if you choose to create kind of like a final project, on your own, that would be awesome. And at that point, you could use whatever supplies you have at home. Um, some of you are loving like markers. Some people love colored pencils or oil pastels. Some people have paint at home. So what I'm giving you are kind of some ideas and skills this week. But I would love to see some kind of final projects from you. And I would leave that up to you, like I said, to decide what kind of materials you want to use, even size, even the background, like what paper you might use. Because I think you've got some extra time coming up. So maybe in the 2 weeks of winter break, you might spend some time making some art. And then send it to me, please. You can email it or you can stick it in your um, um, Google Classroom if your class uses Google Classroom. And in the Google Art, what's it called? Google Art Classroom. Yep, very top under classwork. Okay, let's get started. Let's make this thing official and repeat after me. You can do it silently, or you can actually say it out loud. That works too. I am an artist. I am a creator of ideas and a solver of problems. Sometimes the problems are on my paper or my whiteboard. Sometimes they're with my neighbor or my cat. Sometimes they're inside of myself. But I know I can solve problems because mistakes are opportunities to learn and grow. And I am proud to be an artist. Okay, let's get going. This is fun. Do you know that we haven't even hit the first day of winter? As cold as it is outside, it hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. Next Saturday is what they call the first day of winter. So that happens, is it the 21st of December? I think it is. I'd have to look at the calendar. So I was inspired thinking about winter. Hey, that's me. I look like I'm all bundled up for winter. Interesting. Wait, that's me. What's it? What? That's me? Wait, that's me. It looks like I have twins in that one. Like I am a twin. I'm not a twin. This one's me. Another one? What is going on here? Okay, what's changing in all these pictures? It's not my outfit. I'm all bundled up for winter. What's changing is where I'm holding my camera. If I hold it straight on, the perspective or viewpoint looks different than if I'm holding it way up high and you're now seeing kind of like the top of my head, or way down low and you're looking up my nose. That's not a good picture. So what we're going to play around with today is something called perspective, but sometimes we use that term thinking about one-point perspective. So if we're drawing landscapes and you're thinking of that dot way off in the distance and how things get smaller as they get further away, or like look how big my hands are right now because they're close up to you. That's one way of saying perspective, but that's a narrow view. So what we're thinking about is changing the perspective or the eye, the viewpoint of the viewer. So typically, let's say we're drawing a snow person. We're drawing a snow person. When you look at something, you look at it straight on. My eyes, snow person's eyes, were kind of matched up. So that's pretty much the way I've always drawn a snowman. You know, circle, circle, circle. That still works. So for example, I did one on my whiteboard, circle, circle, circle. But watch what happens when I change your perspective. What? You're like, that's weird. That's just an upside down piece of paper. Except if I add this detail, it changes the whole scene. Suddenly, this snowman, snow person, is upside down. Just like in this one. Now this one has an additional detail because they actually move the arms above the head, but they're below the head. No, they're still above the head, to help tell that story. So that's a fun detail. So we're going to play around with drawing a snowman. Okay, I'm going to say snowman because it just keeps coming out, but it could be a snow woman. It could be a snow girl. It could be a snow dog. It could be a snow giraffe. Creature from snow. But for simplicity, I'm just going to say snowman. So, for example, upside down, that's one perspective. That's not the only perspective. Remember when you were looking at my camera and it was up my nose, or like looking at the bottom of my head, or turning sideways, or turning the other side? We can do all those things just simply by changing the perspective of the snowman. Actually, well, yeah, it's not the snowman that's changing, it's us that's changing, the viewer. So here we go. Here's one where we completely are understanding the story because of the placement of the carrot nose and the fact there's only one eye and half of a smile and half of a hat. So I'm going to erase on here. Now, today's a day, you guys, where if you want to pause this thing a whole bunch, pause this video, stop and draw, then press play again for the next kind, you're more than welcome to do that. Or you want to watch the whole thing and then go, I choose number 3, and then just do that one specific perspective drawing. You're welcome to do that too. Lots of choices for you. You can also watch it over and over and over again because you missed me. Okay, here we go. So simple. We're not even drawing the full body in this one, right? We're going to draw the circle touching the bottom of my paper / whiteboard. Gosh, it's hard to, I want to put the eyes right here and then have the nose right there because I'm so used to doing it, but that's not what we're seeing. We're trying to show the snow person looking up. So now at this point, simply, there's our carrot nose. And then one eye, because we're seeing the side. In fact, I got to add some detail in that carrot. There we go. I could even have it like show the bottom part. Ooh, I'm using my finger to erase. Don't do that. That's looking a little bit more carroty. There we go. And then only half of the smile. So I have to think about what half of a smile looks like and follow that line. Have you guys all drawn made a snowman before? I'm just, I grew up over in Yakima in the middle of Washington. It's much colder over there, so we always had snow. But since I've moved over here to Western Washington, I'm realizing that kids, your childhood is different than mine. Like, we barely ever had rain, but we always had snow. All right, distracted. Gives you time to draw. There we go. The snowman's looking up. What's he looking up at? I don't know. What about that? What if a bird landed on its nose? It's possible. If I wanted to keep going, I could add some details. Put a hat on there. But again, thinking about, you're only going to see half of something. Gosh, I can't find my key. There we go. I need to hold it over here. And then I like this idea where it's grabbing, like trying to catch a snowflake with its little wooden stick arm. You could do that or not. Okay, so how did this one start? Circle at the bottom and then carrot at the top. Everything else is just half or one. You're just seeing half of the face. All right. Okay. All right. So either pause right now and finish it up, or let's move on to number 2. Actually, technically number 3. Okay. So this time we're looking up the snow person's nose. So that was actually really cute when I'm sad to erase that. I might actually make another drawing, final drawing of that one. Okay, so how's this one going to start? I'm noticing in the corner, we're seeing part of the bottom snowball, not the full snowball, just part. So I'm going to come over here, almost like how some of you draw your suns in the sky, but now we're in the bottom corner. So, oh, I forgot to also notice the last two, actually the last three, I've had my paper vertical up and down. Gives me more room to go tall. Okay, so again, we're looking up the snowman's nose. We're going to draw our middle-sized snowball. And it's really important that this one comes first because when you're looking up, it's sticking out further than this one. Now, I know there's buttons, I know there's a scarf, I know there's arms. I'm just going to take a little time out and get the basics drawn in here. And that's the top snowball. Okay. So again, I'm not going to put in my buttons, my scarf just yet because this is a really important thing to do. The carrot nose is still a triangle, but notice how if we were to say the middle of the top snowball is about right here, we're going to go up just a smidge above it. So we're like up at the, I don't know, 1/3 down. Are we talking fractions in math yet? I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to put that carrot up in the top part. Don't watch me. I keep using my fingers. I keep using my finger to erase. Look at that. So we're already starting to see it kind of tilting its head up, and then the nose gets at the top part. The eyes are really far up there. It's okay if they even touch the top of the snowball. And then you can put in your mouth. So I'm using like little rocks because that's what we always used when I was growing up. Just putting that one as a normal little smile. Hey, looks kind of creepy. Looks a little creepy. Maybe because those rocks look more pokey like. All right, and then if I want to add the hat, now we can do those details that you see in this picture. I like the idea that they had by adding the stripes. Make sure they go behind the carrot nose. There, it doesn't look as scary anymore. Now, the scarf is going to copy the curve of the middle snowball. Middle snowball, oops, you can't see that. Draw a parallel line right next to it, and then you can add 2 more parallel lines, close those up, 2 more parallel lines, close those up. That's how I added that scarf. Polka dots, stripes, whatever else you want to put on there. If you want to show the knot, simply add a square. Ooh, it looks like little fingers, doesn't it? All right, I better fix the tassel parts on my scarf. Does it still look like little fingers? A little bit. And then look at this little detail. On the buttons, they put the button touching, and then the next one, and then the next one. It could also be bigger at the bottom because it's closer to us. Look at how fun that was. Oh, he needs little arms. A snow person needs arms. To draw the sticks, I kind of use the letter Y. And those of you that have drawn trees with me before, you know that trick. Letter Y. Double it though, okay? That means instead of just one line, like we usually write, double it. Almost like it's a bubble letter or block letter. That was pretty cool, huh? You could add more detail. I mean, snowman at night. Ooh, starry night. That's familiar, isn't it? Starry night snowman. Cool. Okay. Next one. Pause it if you're not ready for me. But we're moving on. All right. What's next? Kind of a similar one. This one doesn't have the full body. Man, should I have done this one first? Maybe. And it really exaggerates the nose. So bottom corner. Wait, did I already do this? I already did this one. Oh my gosh, I forgot I added pictures. All right, well, if you wanted to do it again, there's some different ways, especially on the mouths. Look how cute they do the mouths. Fun, so many ideas. Okay, moving on. Oh, this is a fun one. Hey, we did this in art club. Maybe if you came to art club 2 years ago, maybe it's just fifth grade that would know this one. It's kind of fun. This is like they call it ant's eye view in art. Imagine you're an ant, little bug, and then you are on the ground and you're looking up. That's kind of what this viewpoint is. And that's a real thing. I'm not just making that up. That's a real viewpoint that artists use. So this one's similar to the last. We're going to go in all four corners, whether you're using paper or whiteboard, and you're going to put in 4 partial circles or curved lines. Hey, wonderful opportunity right now. Okay, this might still have water in it. It did. If you wanted to cheat and use something that's curved and trace it, use something curved and trace it. Just because, I'm drawing it freehand doesn't mean you can't use tools. Okay, moving on. The next one is the fact that they don't have 3. So we're not seeing the bottom snowballs in this. Mostly because you'd end up running out of room in the center. I might be able to squeeze it in, but I'm not going to mess with it. Not in front of you. That would be embarrassing if I mess up. So next, we're going to add snowball, 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 and I bet you know what's coming next, snowball. Now, mine are not perfectly round. They're not all the same size. That's what happens when you build a snowman. Now, this is where the fun part is. You can give them little personalities. So each one could have different details, and that could tell the story. Maybe you do want to continue to add a carrot nose, or maybe you don't want to add a carrot nose. Maybe you go inside the house and you get all of your Mr. Potato Head parts and you stick those on. Why have I never done that? Now I'm wishing it would snow because I want to go buy a Mr. Potato Head and stick those parts into the snow person. That's a phenomenal idea. Mr. Potato Head always has those lips too. You guys, we should market that. We could sell parts for your snow person, and then people would use them to add when they're building their snow person, kind of like Mr. Potato Head. All right, so I gave that one a hat. Here's the important thing. Flip your paper. Flip it upside down when you think you're ready to add the other 2. She is going to have long hair and some rock eyes, but then I grabbed little pieces of grass or twigs, and I'm even going to give that snow person some eyelashes. That's so weird. All right, one more. I'm stuck for ideas. I think I was a boring snowman maker when I was your age. I was just straight up traditional. Rocks, carrots, and twigs for the arms. I didn't do anything super fancy. I mean, we did go in to the coat closet and grab, different hats and stuff. And then it was always a bummer when it melted, and then you'd have to bring in all the scarves and hats, and you'd be all sloppy wet. Okay, so that's fun. Ant's eye view. Oh, I didn't put the little arms on there, on all of them. But you can do that. I think the key is think about your space. If you're going to add one over here, I had a whole bunch of extra room. There was nothing else happening, so I had more room to put that stick arm in there. Whereas this one, I don't have as much room, so maybe it's going to actually reach across. Oh, it's tickling the other one right in the armpit. Do snow people have armpits? I don't know. Anyway, think about your space. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry, guys. And use your space how you best see fit and how it'll work for you. So no matter which way I turn this paper, I'm still telling the same story. I'm telling you, Mr. Potato Head. It's a missed opportunity, you guys. We could have made billions of dollars. All right, this one kind of reminds me, I think this is the final one too. The story I just told. Wah, wah. At some point, it gets warm and your snowman's gonna melt. Or maybe that's not happening. Maybe this is something called bird's eye view, and that's a real thing too. Imagine you're a bird, you're flying over, you're seeing the tops, you're seeing the top of whatever, whether it's human heads or tops of buildings or the top of the snowman. I'm going to throw a fancy word at you. Concentric. Ooh, concentric circles. That means a circle inside a circle inside a circle. So what should we start with? The smaller one or the bigger one? I don't know. I should know. There's probably a better way. I'm going to go big first. So could I have used a tracer, something round? Yep, for sure. But I just decided to go for it. So got my one. The next one, medium. Now I want to eat a donut. So I need one more, right? They got smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay. Most of the action on this one is happening to the smallest one. Now we are above looking down. So in the one where we were below looking up, we saw a whole bunch of the mouth, saw the triangle nose, a little bit of the eyes. Now we're seeing the eyes, although look at where they are on that circle, way down at the bottom. We barely are going to see the mouth. That's okay. The story is still there. So let's plan out, finger again. Let's put that carrot triangle nose on there. So it comes out of the bottom of the smallest circle. So you've got the smallest circle, find the bottom in the middle and put it on there. Right above that, your eyes, whatever shapes you want to use for eyes, they're down toward the bottom. This is looking a little birdie, isn't it? Cute. Which is funny because we're doing bird's eye view. And then the mouth, if you can squeeze in some rocks for the mouth, look at them in the picture on the screen too. Mine's really small, but they're just barely showing. Barely showing. Now, as far as the scarf, you might be thinking, well, I can't see the full thing. It just looks like two rectangles. It does because you're above. All you're seeing is the part that's coming out from underneath the chin. And it's a round head, so part of it's going to be blocked. You're not going to see it all. So it's just going to come out from there, come out from there. I made it really long on that one just because I felt like I wanted to put something in there. It's gonna come together, but doesn't it look like a little bird with big, huge legs right now? So weird. All right, I'm gonna add some tassels or fringes. I'm gonna put in some stripes. I'll show you in a second. There we go. All I did was add some stripes and some fringes. And then I think that the little arms, little stick arms coming out of the middle circle. So look where they are. They're coming out of the middle circle, but they're expanded and extended beyond the big circle. My big circle is really large. As I'm looking at it now, it's looking kind of silly. I think I should have drawn the small circle bigger. But that's okay. Live and learn, right? Plus, it's kind of what's fun about drawing on the whiteboard. It doesn't feel permanent. I don't feel like don't know, like it's as precious. Like I feel like I'm more willing to take risks on a whiteboard than I am on a paper. Do you guys feel that same way? I don't know. I want to experiment, try stuff. This looks very strange. All right. They also draw some of the buttons. I don't think I'm going to put buttons in the bottom one. I think that's the last viewpoint. Let me see. Yep, it sure is. So I want to talk about the finishings. Again, if you feel like doing this on paper and using supplies that you have at home, go for it. I'm going to talk real quick. This one is oil pastel, but you could also do it with chalk. Noticing how they just put blue around the edge. Is snow blue? No, it's really not, but it gives that kind of reflection of this color of the sky with the white of the snow. And sometimes we notice that snow looks a little bit white. I mean, sorry. Well, of course it looks white. It looks a little bluish. So a little bit of blue around the edge. Take your finger, smear, and then anything else you can do the way you want. Let me go backwards here. Hopefully I can go backwards. These ones are done with mixed media. I see colored pencil. I see some marker part, and I actually see a little bit of what I think is watercolor for the blue sky. If you're doing a snowman drawing on white paper, you don't have a whole lot to color because you don't color the snowman. You color the space around or the details. Let me go back. This one's interesting. This is a collage. So they've created a black background, and then they took white paper and cut their shapes out and put it onto there. This one, these are, I think, white paper, and then it looks to me like, I think it's watercolor. It could be oil pastel too. But again, anytime you want to leave snow, so these snowflakes, these circles right here, you just leave the paper white and you work around it. This one is crayon, mostly leaving it white. If you look really close, I'm not sure if you can see it on your Chromebook, but they left the white snowflakes and then just barely changed the background color to a light blue or kind of a grayish. Okay, oh, I can't do that. This is what's hard about Screencastify, is that the toolbar gets right over the top of my other stuff. Watercolor with some oil pastel. So the watercolor is painted over the top of the snowflakes, and some of you know that trick already. You take white crayon or white oil pastel and you draw whatever you want, and then you can paint over the top and the paint won't stick to the white crayon or white oil pastel. And this is one I wanted to get to. So this is blue paper with chalk. So maybe maybe you have chalk at home and you want to try something like this. But noticing too, there's a definite value changing it to a form, making it look like a ball, because there's blue on one side and white on the other. So I can't wait to see what you come up with today. There's again, like a lot of options. Changing perspective. Changing perspective is the focus for today. And it all depends on where you put that first circle or partial circle, right? So I will put this video on for you, and you can click through and find them. If you are looking at a Google, at the Google Slides, you can also click to the pictures that you would prefer to look at and go from there. All right, have a wonderful day, and thanks for joining me for art. And if I don't see you over winter break, I probably will not see you. Have a wonderful 2 weeks. Spend some time doing art. It feels good. I painted yesterday, and I gotta tell you, I need to do it more because I was like, oh, I don't know, I just felt relaxed, and I forget how much I love to do that until I do it. So have a good one. Miss you guys. Take care.